How much money can you make after retirement? Well, the good news is you can make as much money as you want and you'll still get your Social Security. Sometimes people are confused and they think if they earn money after retirement, then they're not going to get their Social Security. So let me clear those up. And then in today's video, I'm going to talk about how you can actually make money in retirement, not working that hard, not working that many hours, so that you can have a really great retirement, enjoying travel, enjoying grandkids if you have them, and enjoy spending time with friends, enjoy spending time on hobbies without kind of hunkering down and worrying about whether your money's going to last until you pass. And I know that's a big concern for everybody. So let's get right into it. So first of all, with Social Security, once you reach full retirement age, which right now is age 67, then whatever money you make doesn't impact the amount of Social Security that you collect. So you could make $1 million a year and still collect your full Social Security payment. Prior to age 67, which is prior to full retirement, then when and if you make money above $23,400 per year, then that impacts your Social Security. And when you earn money, it'll reduce the amount you'll get in Social Security. But here's the thing. Once you reach full retirement age at 67, they'll make up for any money that was reduced. So if you say made money at age 63, 64, 65, and therefore got less Social Security, they'll make that up to you once you reach age 67. So to me, that means that it really doesn't matter. Like, you wouldn't want to work less so that you don't make the money, because you may as well make the money now and then you'll get a windfall when you hit full retirement age. So I think that that's not a consideration. But let's talk about why you might be even looking at this. People are worried in retirement because they just don't have the savings that they need. Most people at most have $400,000 to $450,000 in savings, and that's not enough money to live on if you go from age, say, retiring at 65 to living till 80 to 82, maybe even longer, the way technology is going. And Social Security doesn't pay much money at all, so people that are living only on Social Security really have to watch every penny and are not having a lot of fun in life. So let's talk about how you can make money while you're retired, while you're still enjoying yourself in a low stress way. The first thing is to avoid high risk, high investment options. You can start a business where you say buy a franchise, or you go into a risky business with a friend who just has this idea of starting something that he's never done before. You can do those things, but an average franchise is $250,000 plus the cost of any real estate. So there are people spending $1 million or more by the time they say buy a Baskin Robbins and rent the store, build it out and start it up. And that, I think, is crazy. I don't think you should do anything like that. I think anything you do should be low risk, where you're not risking your capital that you have that you need to work for you. Because the number that retirement specialists recommend is withdrawing no more than 4% of your principal from your retirement accounts per year. So you can think of it, for every $100,000 that you have saved up, you can take about $4,000 out of it plus whatever you earn in interest. So if you earn 10% interest, that's probably a little higher than is reasonable. Say that you earn 5% interest, because that could be a very low risk investment in today's environment. You could take $5,000 in interest plus $4,000 in principal for every $100,000 that you have saved. So if you had $400,000 saved, you're talking about $36,000 a year on top of your Social Security. Still not a lot of money. You can scrape by on it, and people do, but still not a lot of money. So let's talk about what a business would look like that you could start in retirement. To me, the criteria are, number one, that it's low risk. You don't have a lot of money that you're putting out to start the business. You're not renting real estate. You're not buying inventory. Really, really low risk. And that, to me, says service business. Now, service business, I guess one of the simplest ways to think about it is these sort of side hustles that people do with Uber and Lyft and things like that. That's fine. I don't personally think you get a great return for your time and effort versus money. Not to me anyway. I think that's something not ideal. I think it's good from the low investment standpoint because you just need a car, which you probably already have anyway. But I think what's a better idea is a service business. And I'll give you an example of the one that I do. I do a business called Overages. What Overages is we help people that have lost a house at foreclosure auction, and we help them get back a refund of part of the money that was paid at the auction. And when and if we're successful, we get a nice finder's fee and success fee so that we can make money also. And there's often a lot of money left over after foreclosure auctions. 6 figures is pretty common. I would say for a new person in the business, they're probably going to work on claims that are between $20,000 and $30,000 a piece. So if you had a $20,000 claim, which is a fairly small claim, but you had that, I'd expect you'd make $8,000 or so in doing that deal, meaning reaching out to the people, telling them there's some money available, and then helping them get that money. And it's low cost, low risk. You're really just picking up the phone and calling them. The education's very low. It's the kind of business you can start for less than $2,000. And on your first deal, you can easily make $8,000. So I think it's a really good business. I think that's a good model. If you want to know more about that, you can click on the link below. I have an intro to the Overages Business video, and you can go check that out. But I want to talk to you more right now about moderating and managing your risk. You do not, under any circumstances, when you're in your retirement years, you don't want to invest in anything where you could lose your principal. So I don't want to see you doing, high risk like foreign currency exchange trading, or day trading of stocks, speculating in crypto, buying a franchise for that matter. I don't think those are good ideas. I think that if you lose that principal, you have no time to make it up. And if you're not working, you'll have a way to make it up. So I think that's extremely unwise. So what I think you should look at is ideally a business that's a service business where you're doing the work or making an effort and getting paid for it. The one I prefer is overages. You can look at other things as well, but I would think of it that way. Don't put yourself in a position where you could lose your principal. It can hurt you too much in retirement. So if you want to check out overages, click on the link below, or usually the editor will put a link up above my shoulder. My philosophy in business, especially for people in their retirement years, are to start businesses where you're not putting out a lot of capital, where you're learning a skill that people really need and that can help them, but not where you're buying real estate or buying a lot of inventory or investing a lot into advertising. Instead, pick a business where it's low risk so that if it works out, great, you really crush it. If it doesn't work out, you just spent some time that you had anyway. And I think that's a much better approach to it. And also, I'd be very careful about entering into businesses with friends or colleagues who just have this great idea, they're sure it's the next best thing, but they haven't done it and done it successfully. And the problem with that is that sometimes the problems are not apparent when you first start a business. And you get into them and then you start to see the hair on it, and you start to see the difficulties. And you don't want to be in a position where at that point you're already committed, you put your money in, and you have to make this work out, because it doesn't always work out. And I much prefer to work with people as partners or in backing their ventures who have experience and are successful at what they've been doing. There are a lot of risks that are not apparent when you first look at something, and it's just unwise to do that. So don't stretch too much. If you're behind in your savings, just accept that and say, okay, I'm behind in my savings, what can I do? And that's find a profitable business that you can do that's inexpensive to start, low risk, and that has a big upside that can really make you flush with cash. I think overages is a good answer for that. You can look for other things. If you want to hear more about business opportunities like that, that's really what I specialize in and what I look for. So as I find different things, I usually bring them to the attention of my subscribers. So if you like this video and you want to know more about low risk businesses that you can start, definitely subscribe. I put out videos from time to time on this topic, and hopefully we can help you have an amazing retirement with long and good health and great success financially so that you don't have to worry. So this is attorney and investor and Harvard School business mentor Bob Diamond, wishing you all the best and wishing you great success in your search for a terrific new business.